Yeah, that's
we
better.
look in that later on? It would be very interesting.
That's also in a hospital. So a lot of things I didn't knew what to do with all those originals. So that was quite a nice idea to have it all in hospitals where 24 hours a day people are living and suffering and walking by, and so a lot of things are already.
Many of your titles of your books, you like to hunt dogs and horses and humans as well. Have you some favorite?
I don't, you said you like to hunt?
To paint.
To paint, yes. You said it.
I'm sorry.
You understand the question?
Yes, to paint dogs, horses and human beings as well. Have you some favorite motifs?
Well, let's put it another way. There are creatures and I am not very familiar to them. I mean insects, fishes and so on.
Snakes.
No. Reptiles, well they're splendid creatures of course, but no. I like them to have hair and have hands to to take something from me. No, I always do have a cage with small tiny animals on my desk, so I can have a look when I'm working. Yeah, hamsters, mice, things like that, but never reptiles. No.
In Sweden, you are most well known for the book about Santa Claus. Have you ever met him?
Well, that's a difficult question for somebody in Holland. For Santa Claus is not what you mean, perhaps, a gnome.
But we have no other name for it. We have Nisse.
Poor people, you know.
Tomte.
Tomten, yes. That's Santa Claus in...
Yeah.
And we have got those grey people, we call them, grey people.
Troll.
They are very small people.
Yeah.
And we call them grey people. That's the nearly the same as your gnomes.
They're about that high, real gnomes.
Aha. Yeah.
18 centimeters perhaps.
Not easy to see.
With cap.
Yeah. You can see it from another direction when you put this up and look at your... Yeah. So
and for the same purpose I use my binocular.
Yeah. And how do you use the binocular? Upside down.
Yeah.
Very nice.
People should do that in their lives also.
Yeah.
Use things like that. You are so used to habits and things.
Yeah. And you can see everything in another...
Anew. You can see it anew.
Yeah. Do you find something you have made wrong in your pictures when you look in the mirror? You know, and then you change it.
Your question is that difficult for me?
No. When you look in the mirror, you can see if you have done something wrong.
Yeah.
And then you can repair it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the bottom you have got an ink sketch, and then you put on color on that.
Not always.
Not always.
Not always. When a drawing is rather complicated, and when you do have the danger of losing your pencil lines, because of your hand going over the surface all the time, and that's why I give the idea in watercolor ink, is it, or
sepia.
Yeah, sepia ink.
It's a brownish color.
Yeah. But it appears, it disappears.
Yes, with the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean the paint is going over it, so after all, it yeah.
Well known in Sweden for that book, and people would like to know if you ever met him.
I do get letters now and then. Well, not so very much nowadays, because that book was I believe 15 years ago I made it. But I got a lot of letters, even from adult people.
Yeah.
And you could hear them hammering on the table. You have to say it. Do they exist or do they not?
You know Harald Wiberg?
Yeah.
Your friend in Sweden?
Yeah, I
He
met.
made a
Yeah,
book. Yes.
I met him several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made also a book about
Yeah.
tomten. And he really met tomten once, he said.
Yeah.
Yes. He was brought up in a small farm in the countryside,
Yeah.
and once he saw that tomten.
Yeah. That was also in the neighborhood of Westervik,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I was there once with him, and he showed me where the farmhouse was, where he and his parents lived. Was a brilliant artist,
Yes.
and he could draw animals, unbelievable.
Are you influenced by any historical or alive wildlife art person, wildlife artist or something?
No, actually not. That is because I never had drawing lessons or whatsoever. I never was on an academy of art or art schools or something like that. So I started drawing when I was a child, and I only tried up till now to do it better and better. Now and then, of course, I saw work from people who really can draw animals, like Bruno Liljefors. I wish I had 50% of his talent. And another brilliant wildlife artist was Harald Wiberg. And Sweden is famous for his wildlife artists. Yeah.
Do you prefer oil or watercolor, or does it depend on in what mood you are?
No, it has more to do with the time of the year. Now it's we don't have very long days in this time of the year, so I have to work with how do you call that?
Artificial light.
Yeah, not daylight anyhow, and it's far more easier to go farther on with watercolor. Then you can work with oil.
Yeah. In April they are going to open a museum, a Rien Poortvliet museum, not far from here. Can you tell us about that? Prince Bernhard of Holland is going to open the first exhibition there. And it's going to be a permanent exhibition with your paintings.
Yeah, that's right. I'm working rather fast. I don't have second Christmas day. I don't have holidays. I don't have a spare weekend. I believe I work almost always. And I do have there are a lot of things, a lot of originals from all those books and so on, and paintings. And I don't know what to do with them. I don't like to sell them. I don't like them. So a lot of things are hanging in hospitals. The gnome drawings, for instance, in a children's hospital, and also other. But there was a village here in Holland, and the first time I got red ears when I heard what they wanted. To start a Rien Poortvliet museum, and I'm not quite dead, and things like that. So I was rather embarrassed. And after that village there was another village, and after that I believe I had 8 or 9 towns or villages asking to start a Rien Poortvliet museum, and all of a sudden I thought, when there should come a Rien Poortvliet museum, it has to be in that simple farm world down in Holland where my ancestors live. I believe where my grandfather walked on his wooden shoes. Well, anyhow, there is where the museum will be opened in April.
Do you mind trying to work a little when we are looking at you?
You like that?
Yes, please.
I don't.
Okej. Vänta lite. Ja, men måste vända. Ja. Okej. Okej.
Can you see that from there?
We take from the front and then
From the back.
from the front.
From Sweden, eh? You?
Ja.
Huh. All the way from Sweden to Holland.
To see you. Do you want to describe what you are doing now?
No. Well, it sounds silly, but actually it is an answer. People are asking me now and then, could you please be so kind and tell us about something about your work? And then I say, well, I can't tell anything about my work. It's rather easy to understand what it's all about. A horse and wolves, and now I understand it's not ready yet, and perhaps it's not quite easy to see what. I'm working on a book now. And the book has to do with animals, of course. Let's say I'm going back in history after I first looked around what we do have now here in Holland, and you as well in Sweden. What we do have now: roe, foxes, wild boar, hare, pigeons. But I'm curious to look backwards and imagine how it is when you are sitting on a high seat and when you are waiting for your roebuck, and when, let's say the giant deer or a mammoth is approaching. Things like I like to make a book, hunters and animals. And I'm going back until the ice time. And now I am, almost in the beginning of the book, and I'm glad for. I don't like a book finished. No, it's far more fun for me. The reindeer as well. And the Vicent. So, it keeps me from the street and something else. I'm so glad that you are away in a few hours, and that it is not necessary for me to work always with a lot of people behind my back. and things like that. Mom!
She's gone out.
Yeah, I was just finding out. She had to do shoppings and so.
Oh yes.
No. No. To be quite honest, I even can become now and then.
Academy for 3 years,
Yeah.
but then he quit. He didn't want to be there any longer.
Yeah.
So then he went down here to France together with Soren, Anders Soren.
Yeah. So he returned to Sweden.
He returned very soon after he came down.
Yeah. No, that is not. No. No, I am not so very polite.
I just wanted to check it.
In America, there is an annual.
Yeah. Wildlife Art News.
You saw that?
Yeah. No,
With an article of my doing.
Yes. When was that?
Stone of the pavement, and they do it.
Yeah.
They do it here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Like a
So now and then you see the most beautiful things in the American wildlife world, and you do see.
David Shepard, have you heard of him?
I met him several times.
Dino Paravano.
No.
Vill du
Ja,
ha
jag
ett
känner-
pressa?
I can't
This-
stand this. No.
Every.
No.
How do
Unbelievable.
they paint those things? From a
They
photography?
have
With
no,
their
I
eyes
have never
closed.
seen-
With their
Yes.
eyes closed.
they have no tradition.
No,
No.
they have no roots.
With their eyes closed.
They have no roots,
Snabbt.
and they have
det går att klippa
no
sen.
no pride.
Det är gott.
Finessen är att inte
No.
Ja, det... Kolla.
Oh well.
He has never seen a sunrise.
No, I have never seen nothing.
No. No, and that's
Do the American people buy things like that?
yeah, yeah,
They do.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. For they don't have taste. American people. They don't have taste.
Why is it tradition? They have.
Perhaps indeed it
Kan jag
has
ta
to
för
do
er?
with roots
Ja.
and
Kan jag ta för er?
history.
Yeah.
And,
Tappar de
and
här då?
when you're in your country and I in mine, especially after I made those books on people living in former centuries, it gives me a nice feeling when I have a desire to do so, I can go back and touch things